That it's nothing. Just give me a Band-Aid, Corporal Finch said, holding his arm, which was seeping with a strange dark green liquid. Silence fell across the medbay as the aliens, each of various shapes and hues, exchanged horrified glances. A faint tremor of panic spread through the room, accompanied by whispers in hushed, frantic voices. The bite had come from a Tasian, a native creature of TAS-4, which was notorious for its venom, fatal for Tosseran, deadly for most aliens. And Finch had simply shrugged it off. The medic on duty, an alien named Ralk, who towered over Finch with gray-blue scales and a cluster of deep-set, gleaming eyes, leaned in closer. You require immediate intervention, human Finch. That bite, Tasian venom, is fatal. Finch waved him off, more amused than anything. It's fine, Ralk. Look, it's barely even stinging now. A little burn, maybe. I've had worse from the time I leaned on that power conduit during a repair job. Ralk blinked his eyelids, shutting vertically, a reflex whenever he encountered something beyond comprehension. The medical bay was no stranger to species from across the galaxy, each with unique ailments, but none had ever reacted this casually to a Tasian bite. Ralk, clutching his medical scanner, looked between Finch's calm expression and the thick green ooze trickling down his arm. His heart, or whatever the alien equivalent was, raced in alarm. Human Finch, you must understand, he said, trying to keep his voice steady. Tasian venom neutralizes the nervous system of most species on contact. It destroys cellular structure within seconds. Without immediate attention, you, well, anyone else, would already be. Finch grinned, chuckling as if Ralk had just told him a joke. Sounds nasty. But really, I don't feel that bad. Maybe a Band-Aid and I'll be good to go. A voice chimed in from behind, drawing everyone's attention. It was General SHVC, a senior official with a broad, spiked frame and a gaze like a hawk. He'd heard the commotion and decided to investigate. Shvisi's rank and demeanor made him someone rarely questioned, but the sight of Finch casually handling a Tasian bite left even him visibly unsettled. Corporal Finch, SHVC addressed him with caution. You are aware of the potency of Tasian venom? Finch shrugged, now more intrigued by the crowd he'd unintentionally gathered. Sure. You guys have been telling me since I landed on TAS-4. Don't touch this. Don't step on that. Trust me, I got the message. But look, I didn't exactly ask to get bit. It happened. I'm fine. No big deal. SHVC gestured to Ralk. Run another scan now. Ralk obeyed, his scanner humming as he passed it over Finch's arm. The readings were bizarre. The venom, though still present, seemed to be dissipating, melting into harmless compounds as it interacted with Finch's blood. Ralk stared at the scanner, then back at Finch, utterly bewildered. This doesn't make sense, Ralk murmured. It's as though the venom's toxicity is decreasing. Finch laughed, slapping Ralk on his bony shoulder. Guess I'm just lucky. Huh? The onlookers were speechless, each alien staring at Finch as if he defied death itself, which, in a way, he had. For most of them, a Tosseran bite would be an immediate death sentence. To see a human, a species relatively new to intergalactic exploration, brushing off the ordeal like a mere mosquito bite was mind-bending. One of the younger medics, a short, stocky alien with emerald green scales and bright, almost luminescent eyes, stepped forward, staring in awe. Human physiology is astounding, he whispered. Your blood, it neutralizes the venom's compounds. Apparently, Finch said, wincing a bit as he dabbed at the bite with a cloth someone handed him. Guess we've got some strong immune systems. Never knew my blood had a superpower, though. The young medic's admiration shifted to something approaching reverence. You humans, you speak of it so casually, but this is unprecedented. He turned to Ralk. What if we could study this? Imagine if we could isolate this human immunity. It could be revolutionary for our research. Ralk frowned, torn between his instinct to assist and the obvious concern for Finch's safety. We should still treat this. If you're immune, we don't know if there could be any delayed effects on your system. Finch raised his hand defensively. Fine, fine. I'll let you do whatever you need. Just don't be surprised if I walk out of here just fine. All right. SHVC observed him carefully, tapping his claws together as he considered the implications of Finch's resilience. Human Finch, you must understand. Your reaction to this is unlike anything we've encountered. Most species go into immediate shock, their system shutting down within seconds. Yet you, Finch shrugged again, clearly amused by all the fuss. What can I say? Maybe humans are tougher than we look. Ralph adjusted his scanner, his movements more cautious now, as if handling an unpredictable element. It is more than toughness, Corporal. Your physiology may possess properties that could be invaluable across intergalactic medicine. If the effects of Tasian venom are this minimal on your kind, it could open doors none of us anticipated. Well, Finch replied with a smirk, maybe next time you aliens can warn the local wildlife about humans too. He looked around, noting their reactions with a hint of pride but also an undercurrent of realization. He wasn't exactly invincible, but it seemed that he might be something of a marvel out here. The medics conferred in low voices, dissecting what they had just witnessed. Words like incomprehensible and incredible adaptation buzzed through the room, each alien processing this revelation with growing astonishment. Finch crossed his arms, watching them, feeling almost like a celebrity. It wasn't every day you saw a venom-resistant human. Apparently, Ralph, trying to mask his awe, finally addressed him again. Human Finch, I must insist that we continue to monitor you. There could still be side effects. Whatever you need, Finch replied, leaning back with a grin. But if I'm being honest, it's just a bite. I'd say the Band-Aid will do fine. The medbay was buzzing with activity as more aliens shuffled in, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the immune human. Word had spread fast that Corporal Finch had survived a Tasian bite with nothing but a laugh and a Band-Aid request. For creatures from over 100 species, the feat was as mystifying as it was unsettling. They surrounded him in curious silence, each trying to process how a single human could be so resilient. Finch, watching the crowd grow, couldn't resist the urge to entertain. Hey, Ralph, he called out, waving to the towering medic. Should I start charging for tickets? Feels like I'm a zoo exhibit over here. Ralphie's face remained neutral, though a hint of humor flickered in his many eyes. If we are a zoo, Corporal, you're certainly the rarest specimen here. A new figure approached, and the crowd parted to let him through. Commander Vorak was one of the highest-ranking officers on the station. His presence always signaled authority. His skin was covered in a dark metallic sheen, reflecting light in faint ripples, and his large, multifaceted eyes assessed Finch with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Human Finch, Vorak began, his voice a deep rumble. I have heard about this incident. It raises questions about the nature of human biology. Good questions. I hope. Finch replied with a smirk. Potentially, Vorak replied, his gaze sharp but also significant. Concerns, if your species can withstand Tasian venom, what other biological threats might you endure that we cannot? And more importantly, how did humanity develop such defenses? Finch shrugged, fighting nonchalance. Guess Earth is a bit of a rough place. We have all sorts of creatures and environmental hazards back home. Poisonous plants, venomous animals, diseases. Our bodies just got used to dealing with them. The venom you're so worried about probably just reminds my immune system of a few things it's seen before. Ralph tilted his head thoughtfully. Your planet's environment, so it produces creatures that are toxic, like the Tasian. Finch chuckled. Oh, you bet. Some nastier, too. We have this little thing called a box jellyfish. Touch that. And you're not just hurting, you're toast. Unless you get help fast. Or take black widows, copperheads, blue-ringed octopuses. Even plants like poison ivy can make your skin go all red and itchy just from brushing against them. And that's just a small sample of Earth's wildlife. The aliens exchanged glances, visibly unnerved. For many, Earth's catalog of dangers sounded like a litany of horrors. The concept of a single planet with so many threats was hard to comprehend, especially when most of them came from worlds where a single venomous creature was considered rare. So your species is constantly under threat, even on your home world? Vorak asked, his tone filled with reluctant admiration. And yet you thrive, pretty much, Finch replied casually. We've adapted. It's like how some of you guys can survive in extreme temperatures or breathe toxic atmospheres. Earth taught us to handle a bit of everything, and here we are. He flexed his arm with exaggerated flair. Call it evolution or just dumb luck. Vorak remained silent for a moment, his multifaceted eyes gleaming. It seems humanity may be more formidable than we anticipated. Finch grinned, taking the remark as a compliment. Well, don't go spreading that around too much. I like being underestimated.